I set my sail, fly, the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Dustin Fader, author of the book Red Twilight. Welcome to another Strange Tales from the Service Desk. I actually have 3 stories to tell today, so this is probably a longer one. I should probably break this up into 3 videos, but I don't feel like it. So, let's start with the shorter of the stories. A couple of weeks ago, my cousin Joe, who is working with me at Cub at this point, shows up for work and he's carrying a copy of the 2014 ServSafe Certification Manual. For any of you who don't know what a ServSafe certification is, this is basically a license handed out by the health department that says that you have permission to take authority. If anything goes wrong in a restaurant, you are certified to repair it, fix it, whatever. You basically need to have one in order to operate a restaurant. Otherwise, you get tagged with non-compliance and all sorts of garbage. I'm not going to bother saying anymore because, quite honestly, I'm not an expert on this. All I know is that I was offered one 5 years ago, but for some reason my boss wouldn't pay for it, so I couldn't get it. And you need to be sponsored by a restaurant in order to get it. I don't fucking understand this at all. Anyway, so I go to my building's operations manager and I ask him, what do I have to do to get put on the list to get recertified with ServSafe? And he responds, you need to talk to me. Cool. In that case, I'm going to talk to you. I want to get ServSafe certified. Can I sign up for the October class? No. But you can sign up for the November class. Fantastic. Put me on the list. So, I then go back and grab my uniform as I was just clocking in, and I put on my uniform. And I bump into my boss. And I bring up, hey, Teresa, I hear that there's another ServSafe certification class coming up. And she cuts me off there and says, yeah, but it's too late to sign up. What about the November class? Let's talk about this next year, Dustin. Next year? There's certification classes every 28 days. Why do you want me to wait till next year? I don't actually ask this. It wouldn't be worth my time, but for some reason, sometimes my boss gets this kind of weird smile on her head, cocks a little bit while she's talking, and every time that happens, I kind of want to stop and say, alright, this is fantastic, but can you try this again, and this time, please convince me that you're still a human being? But this, of course, I don't say either, because I like my job. So, the workday continues. I bump into my operations manager again, and I tell him, I talked to my department manager, and she's apparently not 100% on board with this, my certification thing. What do you think about this? I don't see any reason why I can't get more training. This seems like a good idea. But, I'm kind of at the bottom of the seniority ladder, and I don't know who's in charge of what. My operations manager's response: she doesn't need to be on board with this. I'm the one who has to write the check. Oh, fantastic! Okay. Well, I guess I talked to the right person then. So, the next day I go into work. I pick up pick up my security radio. I put that in my pocket like I do during most of my shifts. This is just sort of the way that, things go. Nobody for some reason wants to hold on to the security radio. I don't know why. So anyway, most days there's nothing on the security radio. There's just people shooting messages back and forth saying, what's your 20? As people want to talk to each other face to face, because who wants to talk on the security radio? Well, this day something did come up on security radio. I'm sitting there, and a message comes in. Department 47. Yes, who is this? Produce department. How may I help you, produce? A man just dropped his drawers and started fiddling with his sausage. I freeze as this message is coming through, thinking, no, this didn't just happen. Department 47 says, okay, well, I'm on my way. We'll take a look at this. Well, this is a weird situation, and there's chatter going on about this for the next couple of minutes. Apparently, after this gentleman decides he's going to drop his trousers and start pleasuring himself, he walks into the bakery department. And he decides that he's going to grab a couple of bagels. So I'm imagining he's standing there. What says my camera on? Bagel in this hand, pulling pud with his hand. So bakery calls up CSM and says, this guy just had his pick of the breads. CSM's response, throw it all away. Apparently at this point, Department 47 grabs this guy and slaps him with an indecent exposure ticket, and they throw him in the back of the paddy wagon, and he spends the rest of the day downtown. I didn't actually see this. I'm listening to this on security radio. And yeah, what I'm trying to imagine, what? So this guy's standing next to the kumquats, peeling his bananas. I got a question. What are the people standing around him thinking? Yeah, let me ask you guys. You're standing there digging through your spinach, trying to figure out what you're going to eat tonight. And next thing you know, there's a man or a woman standing next to you with O-face. What do you do? Do you join in? Do you say, oh, okay, we're doing this now, and take off your belt and, whip out the white anaconda? Or do you reach into your pocket and start dialing security? Oh. I'm sure that I would have been right there with my security radio in hand, calling for Department 47 also, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen an actual human being naked, so I have no idea how I actually would have responded. I can just assume. That brings us up to story number 3. So, I just had my surgery. I had 4 teeth pulled. What was the numbers? 1, 2, 24, and 25. I think I told you about this in an earlier video, so I'll just cut that part there. Anyway, after my surgery, I experienced the worst fit of insomnia of my life. I go 16 days off of less than 4 hours of sleep. I close my eyes and I suddenly feel a shock and I jump back up to a awake position. For 3 days, this is fantastic because for 3 days, I get an extra 8 hours to sit in front of my typewriter working on my next manuscript. After 5 days, my ability to type has completely vanished. I will sit there staring at the keyboard and I don't know what any letters are anymore. I think that there's an A somewhere on the keyboard, but I can't see it. My ability to write is fucked. Gone. It's just not there anymore. But that's okay, because I'm an artist too. I can also draw. So I whip out my notebook for the next 2 or 3 days. And now that I'm up to 5 days without sleep, I have pretty much lost the ability to see color. I have a box of 42 pencils, and they're all gray. So I try to lay down and sleep. At 6 days, I'm in tears. But come morning time, I drink 4 cups of coffee, 2 cups of tea, and about a full cup of sugar in order to make sure that I'm alert enough to go into work and keep smiling and acting all friendly. And people I'm trying to tell this to at work, and they're like, oh no, Dustin, you haven't gotten 5 days of sleep, you look fine. I'm an artist! I am an author. I am a liar! I am extraordinarily good at pretending. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I was treated for social anxiety disorder when I was a kid. This was in the early 90s. So they treated social anxiety disorder with singing and meditating. This is not good. This is a serious physiological condition that probably requires medication. But that's not going to happen because I was born in the 90s. Actually, I was born in the 80s. I was in my teens in the 90s. But you see what I'm saying. And, because they treated an actual psychological condition with prayer and meditation, it of course mutated and grew a second head and became general anxiety disorder by the time I turned 20. And I have serious attachment issues. I have serious trust issues. I am paranoid as fuck! But that's okay. I've only gone 6 days without sleep at this point. Or is it 7? I don't know. But anyway, this carries on for some time until eventually I talk to my older sister, who suddenly notices that I've put 5 years on my face in a month. I suddenly have crow's feet. I don't know if you can see that on my low-res camera, but I can see it. I didn't have this 2 months ago, but now there are 2 black lines that run from the back of my eyes to my hairline that fork off behind it, and they don't go away anymore. I should consider maybe makeup. So, my sister says, that's fine. I know exactly what to do. She reaches into her pocket, pulls out a bottle of melatonin. I pick it up, roll around the bottle, I look at it. This product is not FDA approved. Spiffy! Pop open bottle, start taking melatonin. Dustin, you should probably read the directions. I haven't slept in 10 days. I would be perfectly happy if this killed me at this point. Because it hurts to be awake. It hurts to do anything. So, I come to the shocking realization that melatonin has absolutely no effect on the human body. I guess it wasn't meant to be taken orally. 16 days pass. I faint. And who wouldn't? Most people, I'm pretty sure, are dead after 8 days. I went 16. And I'm still smiling. It's smiling out of fucking insanity, but I'm smiling. This, of course, doesn't treat the base issues of this, but hey, at least I got some sleep. I was unconscious for approximately 4 hours before I woke up and felt completely relieved. Now, what happened in this time frame? My roommate got a new girlfriend. She lives in Texas. But this was enough to trigger my general anxiety disorder and make me think, my house isn't secure. There's somebody in my house. I'm looking around. My eyes are wide open constantly. I know there's someone here. So I get up. I walk into the living room. I check my doors. They're locked. I walk into my roommate's room. I look at him. He's laying on his bed. Okay. Did I lock the doors? I go back up front. I lock the doors again. They're definitely locked. I go back to my room. I hear talking in the hallway. I get up. I go back into the hallway. There's no one there. I check my doors. They're locked. So who's talking? I walk into my bathroom. I look under the sink. There's no one there. I look in the bathtub. There's no one there. Okay. I go into the kitchen. I open my refrigerator. There's no one there. What the fuck's the matter with me? This goes on for days. Now, what am I actually thinking? Am I worried that my house is secure? Or am I worried that my relationship is secure? I don't know. Doesn't matter anymore. Because I finally got some sleep. Now, what happens next? Well, even after getting sleep, my anxiety has not really decreased. But I'm still smiling. Because I play D&D. And I know how to call upon an emotion at a moment's notice. I'm smiling right now. I don't want to smile, but I'm smiling. So, I lose my box cutter. I talk to my boss. He gives me another box cutter. And he gives me one with a nifty little sling on it, so that I can reach down and feel that it's on my belt. I, of course, work in a deli, and I need a box cutter because I need to break down boxes, and I need to be able to access them. We sell about 200 chickens a day, whole, and around 800 sliced chickens. So from the moment I get into work till the time I leave, most days, there's just chicken to cut endlessly. Well, in order to alleviate some of my insecurities, I talk to my roommate, and he tells me that he has an idea. Maybe because it was my girlfriend talking to me that was the initial trigger, if I give you my girlfriend's phone number, you can talk to her. That way you can associate a voice for yourself and a name for yourself with that voice that you heard in the hallway that I don't know how the fuck you could have heard because I'm talking on a cell phone 2 rooms away, but maybe general anxiety disorder gives you superhuman hearing, or at least the level of paranoia that you could be looking for voices in your apartment in the middle of the night. Okay, I'm good with that. So I get her phone number, and I kind of get the feeling that I'm talking to nobody still because I haven't actually talked. I've texted. And my roommate's cell phone rings in the middle of the night constantly with this amazing ringtone of meow, 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 which is a sound effect taken from Katamari Damacy. That sound effect drives me up the wall. Every time I hear it, I want to reach up and pull out my own ponytail. But I still have it. It's still there. It's just tied up in a bun at this point. Fantastic, right? It comes up to about 2 days ago. I'm at work. I've almost returned to a normal sleeping schedule at this point. I'm approached by one of my co-workers who asked me if I have plans for Thanksgiving. I don't have plans on Thanksgiving. I haven't had plans on Thanksgiving since my grandmother died. But sometimes my roommate has plans. Sometimes he goes to see his sister. I shoot him a text message because I know that he's getting off work at 7 o'clock and it's 6:45 now. He doesn't respond. What the hell's going on? A little devil pops up on my shoulder. Dustin, are you an idiot? I can hear that little voice on my shoulder saying, your roommate has a new girlfriend. He doesn't love you anymore. Shut up, me! I wait for a few more minutes. I pull out my phone and I text him again. Phil, are you there? The little voice on my shoulder comes back in. Everything you have done has ended in failure. Your YouTube channel sucks. Your Fur Affinity channel sucks. You have 3 books on shelves which don't sell. You haven't had sex in 16 years. Actually, I've never had sex. Shut up, me! So my hand reaches down and I can feel my hip. My phone's here. My DS is here. And my new knife is here. Oh, cool. Attention, Dustin. Would you like to try the new Express checkout feature? So I'm sitting there for a few seconds looking at my knife, sitting in the as I'm in the cooler. And I'm starting to think, gee, this doesn't sound so bad, actually. Maybe I'll give it a try. A little self-mutilation could be fun. Do it, Dustin. Just run the knife across your stomach and reach on up there and pull out your own heart. I hate myself. I really do. It's so easy, Dustin. It won't hurt. You've already gone 16 days without sleep. You are dead already. Then my phone rings. I noticed I've been standing in the cooler for about 45 minutes, and I'm sure that my boss has no idea where the hell I am anymore. There's my roommate saying, oh yeah, by the way, Dustin, my phone died. Oh, anxiety, you hurt so good. Okay, I'll talk to you when I get home. Alright, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Lie on my back. Clouds are making way for me. I'm coming.